Well. You two, I'm going to be on Chicago's head just a little bit longer. Look, this right here is interesting because as much as Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, keeps touting that he's doing all these changes, all these things are happening, great things are coming to Chicago, apparently not everyone thinks that. So let's jump right in.
And there's some new concerns for Chicago's finances. A new warning from a ratings agency has come out.
So what they did is they revised Chicago's outlook from stable to negative. Mayor Johnson, though, still defending his more than $16 billion budget. Several aldermen, though, say more cuts are needed.
So for more on this and reaction from City Hall, we've got our political reporter, Marianne Ahern. This is quite a move. It's never a good thing to have your rating.
No, there's a lot going on there. Yes, aldermen say this outlook downgrade is a warning, and they fear an actual credit downgrade is coming without major changes to the mayor's budget. Underway right now, budget hearings at City Hall, and there has been pushback to the mayor's $21 per employee per month corporate head tax.
So I did a video talking about that and basically saying how that's going to be a travesty and it's really going to hurt the business of Chicago, which is going to hurt the economy, which is going to hurt the people that live in it. Because if businesses are looking at a head tax, $21 per person, which it never stops at that, it's going to increase. They're going to start thinking, you know what, why would I want to have my business in Chicago? Let me just leave. And yeah, he says it's only going to affect 3%, but we talked about it as well. 3% of what? It's always easy to throw out percentage. Oh, it's only 3%. But 3% of 100,000 is 1,000. That's a lot. 3% of anything could be a lot or could be a little bit. But you got to give people the numbers, and they didn't do that. I could have sworn recently Chicago's credit outlook was downgraded not that long ago. I think it's called a bond rating or something like that. I might do a video on that as well because it's very interesting. I didn't know cities had that, but I guess it makes sense because they can have debt, they got surplus and everything like that. Kind of like people. So it makes sense for them to have bond ratings or, credit ratings and everything like that. And you should really look into it because if that's the case, what's the equivalent? Chicago got a 500 credit score? Whoo, that should be trash.
It is for larger companies. However, the mayor sees the results of the elections on Tuesday, especially in New York City, as proof that voters do approve bold ideas. Several Chicago aldermen disagree, though, with the mayor's assessment.
I had said this in a previous video addressing the blue wave that kind of swept through. I had a feeling, and I could be right on this one, that politicians are going to see what happened in these states, New Jersey, Virginia, New York, and say, you know what? Maybe the way forward is keep going more left. Maybe the way forward is these radical ideas. Not saying it's all radical, but these ideas that kind of stretch the limits right here. Because it worked over here, and it's like, no. Don't look at those cases, right? And think that that's the way forward. Because first of all, we don't know if they're going to work, especially in the case of Zohran Mamdani. We don't know if his plans are going to work. And if you're wondering, I've been paying attention. I've been looking into it. Haven't done a video. I want more concise evidence before I go forward and make a video. So I probably won't make a video on Zohran Mamdani unless something more like damning comes out until he gets in. But until then, I'm going to be paying attention and watching. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I was like, Democrats are going to see this and they're going to go, you know what? This is the right way forward. We should be continuing on with the same course ahead. It's going to work because it worked over there. No, don't do that. Those are special cases. But I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of pain for them in the future.
As much attention as we're getting around the corporate head tax, I have to be just brutally honest here. It is absolutely frustrating at a time in which people are crying out desperately for government to respond to the basic fundamentals. And we are in a moment where there are more billionaires. We're close to having a trillionaire, maybe a couple of them. And people are asking about 1/3% to keep people safe.
It's getting really frustrating to hear make the billionaires pay their fair share and Trump cuts. Let's get down to the problems we have here. We need to rein in spending. Our city government is much too large. We've known this for years.
A majority of aldermen, they've called for a special city council hearing on Monday with the accountants from Ernst & Young present. They did a report that cost $3 million. It offered the city recommendations for streamlining city government.
There are a plethora of recommendations that I have and what this report has indicated, and it's going to take time, right? All of those recommendations cannot be implemented overnight.
He's ignoring that advice. He is ignoring all good advice from everything from the Civic Federation, rating agencies, other experts that have been people on the city council and citizens out there who are saying implement these recommendations, and he's ignoring them.
So a lot to tackle.
Yes.
A lot with the finances. I want to ask you, though, a question about something else you reported earlier this week about DCASE. Of course, the Department of Cultural Affairs handles the Taste of Chicago. We're responsible for other big festivals in the city. Some of the turmoil going on with the leadership there. He's got the finances to deal with. What is the mayor saying about that story?
Right. There is a problem for him to face, and he has said, we have uncovered that Clene Hedspeth, the former commissioner of that department, she resigned before she could be fired. She and the mayor, they were longtime friends. Hedspeth was the subject of an HR investigation. It found she violated the city's equal employment policy. Her spokeswoman says HR's report was filled with inaccuracies. However, nearly 30 employees left during that year and a half. So the mayor responded today to how he's now repairing the damage done to the office.
As far as repairing relationships, we have an interim commissioner, and part of their responsibility is to get feedback from all of Chicago to ensure that we can continue to see the type of advancement that we experienced over the last couple of years.
This man is a walking, talking gas giant. He don't say shit. Essentially, what he said was, we have an interim, meaning a sort of a momentary replacement, to have like a poll and kind of get like a temperature of what's going on from everyone within Chicago, the constituents, you know, the people that are within government as well, and, you know, let them know of the good that we've been doing the past couple of years. They don't feel like there's been any good going on because of what's happening in front of their faces. They see it. The news talks about it. They live it. So why are you doing pretty much a poll to talk about those things? That's not what they want to hear. That's not what they want to see. They want to have like actual questions answered. That's what they want. And that's not repairing anything. You're just pretty much trying to jack yourself off and go, yeah, you know, we're going to show them the progress we've made over the past few years. And maybe I misinterpreted. Let me know. But that's what it sounds like he said. I said this dozens of times. This man cannot perform well under pressure. He is very, very inept. But hey, y'all defend y'all mayor, man. That's on y'all.
Well, in that department had the acting commissioner this week in her budget hearing promising accountability and collaboration. So we're not done with that yet.
Not done.
All right, we'll be watching, and I know you will too.
A lot of these politicians on both sides, they got a lot to answer for. And the reason why is because they playing in people's faces, right? They're telling people all this nice shit, all the little gumdrops and, you know, candy and everything like that, telling them, oh, everything's going fine, everything's going fine. Bond ratings are going down. People, your constituents, are giving you pretty low scores because his approval rating, like I said many times, very low. I think the lowest out of all Chicago mayors. Your aldermen are not happy with you, and they're calling you out on your shit. Can we not understand that maybe you're not doing a good job? You know what I'm saying? The policies that you're bringing up are trash and or outdated. And then he sits and talks about how the Trump administration is harming Chicago. Chicago's had issues for years now at this point. Try to use Trump as a scapegoat, it's not going to work. Yeah, it worked for some people, but overall it's not. Because once he's gone, you're going to blame it on them. Well, you guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about Brandon Johnson? And what can be done to pretty much get Chicago back on point? Tell me down in the comments below. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.